Howdy everybody, I'm in between making batches of soap here at Mother Acres, and I got another inquiry about what a cow share is. So today, in 8 slides, I'm going to go over if a cow share is right for you and your family. Let's jump into it. So first and foremost, this is a guide to buying a cow share in 2026. You need to share this with anybody that you'd like to split a cow with, or listen to every slide to understand what it takes to get your own cow share and how much it will cost you for Mother Acres in 2026. The topics that we're going to be covering today is who we are here at Mother Acres and where we get our cows from and how we raise them, what is a cow share, why a cow share is the best. This isn't just an opinion, it makes sense in the numbers as well, how it works from start to finish, how much meat you'll get with a cow share, and then pricing and what you can do to follow up with us to learn more. So let's go ahead and start with who we are at Mother Acres. So Mother Acres came out of necessity. I have a background in controlled environment agriculture, and I got to Central Texas doing a little bit of consulting. I wanted to learn more about livestock, so I call up Shada's cousin, Dustin Keefe. And before you know it, 2 years ago, we spun up a consumer-facing brand called Mother Acres. If it's not good enough for Ma, it's not good enough for us. Mother Acres is a Texas-born, family-owned wellness brand rooted in faith, farm living, and ancestral tradition. At our core, we help families reconnect with dinner table conversations by making it simple for them to get farm-to-table beef that's transparent and trustworthy. We work with Dustin Keefe, the CEO and owner of Keefe Cattle Company out of Lee County, and we raise small herds throughout owned and leased property all throughout Lee County to be able to make sure that we're getting amazing quality grass-fed and grass-finished beef right to your door. Our cattle, they're raised on pasture year-round with supplemental coastal and alfalfa when we go into the winter months. They're 100% grass-fed and grass-finished, and we are raising them without added hormones or unnecessary antibiotics. When slaughtered, the beef is dry-aged 14 days, fresh packed for premium flavor and peak freshness, and then flash frozen for a week so you can capture that freshness for 12 to 18 months in your fridge or freezer. There are no shortcuts here at Mother Acres. No mystery supply chains since we're vertically integrated, and then no compromises because we don't accept what we wouldn't eat in our home. If it's not good enough for Ma, it's not good enough for you. So we've covered what Mother Acres is and who we are and how we work, but what's a cow share? Well, a cow share is not your retail box beef from Big Box Osco or HEBs of the world, or even your Whole Foods or Central Market. A cow share is ownership of an animal that's living prior to harvest. And let's just repeat that. A cow share is not a box of beef. It is ownership in a living animal prior to harvest. So when you buy a share through Mother Acres, you're purchasing a portion of a pasture-raised steer heifer in Lee County. And then this can give you the option of custom processing through one of our food lockers, which is a USDA state-inspected facility, so you can have full control over the final packaged beef from that specific animal. One animal to one family. This matters because it explains why the weights naturally change from harvest to finish weight, and why cow shares are fundamentally different than the big box store grocery store chains. When you buy a cow share, you're supporting a local food system. The ranchers that raise that animal, the processors, small, although be it very busy, and butchers, while keeping your food dollars in Texas versus Argentina or Brazil. You can purchase a whole, a half, or a quarter of beef, or a cow share, with the option to have steaks customized to thickness, roasts being full or turned into ground beef, and if you want to keep stew meat, bones, or tallow. Plus, you get to customize your cuts. And the cool thing about ordering a cow share from Mother Acres, we walk through a digital meeting where we work through each one of the cut sheets from start to finish, so there's no surprises and expectations set along the way. So we've talked about who we are at Mother Acres, what it is to have a cow share. Now, I'm going to tell you why cow shares are the best. Aside from saving money, because if you were to buy the same thing at Whole Foods or Central Market, you'll be paying anywhere between $14.80 to $15 a pound when you'd be paying $12 a pound for a cow share from other acres. But really, it's the best because real food isn't bought weekly. It's secured intentionally. And a cow share gives you the ability to have that intentionality. Beef from one animal is a significantly different experience than the beef that you get from the grocery store. That's from thousands. All of our animals are grass-fed and grass-finished. They're cattle raised with care, so that means no fillers, no shortcuts, no mystery sourcing. Instead of the fluctuating market prices, when you buy a cow share, you lock in a bottom line price from the start of the process all the way to the end of the process. When you buy a cow share, you're buying once to fill your freezer, eat all of those cuts, and then plan all of your meals around the cuts, being more connected to your food and dinner table conversations. You'll be able to cook with confidence with our support, teaching you what you can do with each one of the cuts. And most families find that depending on the size of the cow and the cow share size they got, that beef lasts for 6 to 9 months before they re-up again. And if you don't eat it that quickly, it'll last 12 to 18 months in your freezer. Cow shares also introduce you to forgotten cuts that you can't get at your big box retailer, like picanha, tri-tip, Denver steaks, chuck roast meant for braising, soup bones that you can't find anywhere else, marrow, and then even the tallow suet that you can render if you choose so. Food security starts at home, and that's why cow shares from other acres are the best option for your family in Texas. So, how does it work? You've learned about what cow shares are. You learned who we are. You've learned why they're the best. So let's talk about the simple and intentional process of securing your own cow share for your family. Number one, you just put a deposit down. $500 is your initial deposit showing that you're ready to fill your freezer with grass-fed beef. Then we're going to schedule an animal. And all that means is we'll contact you to tell you when the next animal is ready to be harvested and make an introduction to the family that you'll be splitting it with if you're not getting a whole cow, and explain the process and how a cow share works when it's split between two different parties. Then your animal is going to be processed. Beef is dry aged for 14 days. Once that happens, we're going to prepare you through a one-on-one meeting to go through your cut sheet and expectation of each one of the individual cuts from that animal. Beef is then going to be processed, packaged, and then flash frozen to preserve freshness. Then you'll be given the option to either have it delivered right to your home so you can be walked through each one of the cuts and make sure that it fits into your freezer, or you can pick up the bags of your cow share from the farm stand upon a scheduled day. The total timeline from start to finish, depending on the season, is anywhere between 3 to 5 weeks. This isn't immediate. It's slow by design. Our quality beef takes time. Remember, this is not your store-bought beef. This is a family satisfying your family for your cow share needs. So, how much meat will you get? Well, that's all dependent on the size of the steer or the heifer going into the processing facility. A whole beef, you're going to have a hanging weight, which that means after the animal has been slaughtered, the hooves, the head, the hide, the blood, all of the other internals that aren't necessary or not being processed, you'll have anywhere between 500 to 650 pounds of hanging weight. That'll result in anywhere between 360 to 450 pounds of take-home beef if you do a whole beef share. Now, with a half beef share, think of it as almost half of that same thing. So your hang weight will be 300 to maybe 380 pounds. And then your take-home beef weight will be 200 to 250 pounds. And last but not least, quarter beef, same thing. Take a whole cow and then quarter it, where your hanging weight will be anywhere between 150 to 220 pounds. And then your take-home will be 100 to 145. Each one of those different cuts will have a balance based on what your cut sheet requirements are for that size of cow share. You'll have a balance of steaks like New York strip, ribeyes, and or T-bones, or you'll get roasts or more ground beef depending on how you want it to be processed. You'll get ribs either Korean style, whole, or put into spare ribs so you can have the cap pulled off. Then you can get a variety of different slow cooking meats where everything is used. It's intentional and nothing is wasted. And so how much meat you get depends on what size of cow share and what size the animal is going into the processing facility. So, as we wrap it up, we've covered who we are at Mother Acres, how we raise animals with intentionality, and the process of securing your own cow share. Now, let's talk about pricing and learn more about how you can place your order for a Mother Acres cow share today. A cow share makes sense if you want to reconnect your family to real food, restore accountability and transparency to the supply chain of food, support land stewardship and local producers, and if you have a respect for the animal and the people that are behind it producing it for you. It's a great fit if you're a family that cooks at home regularly, want consistent quality meat, value transparency over convenience, and prefer buying once instead of weekly. For a comparison, if you look at the pricing that's indicated, with a whole being $12, finished weight and packed weight, a half being $13, and a quarter being $14, if you compare that to any H-E-B, Whole Foods, or Central Market, we're already 53 cents cheaper a pound. And I can do a slideshow that's going to show that, but that's a completely different conversation that I'm more than happy to have with you. So for a comparison, premium grass-fed grocery beef averages $14.53 to $14.80 at stores like Whole Foods, Central Market, and H-E-B, while a cow share is often more economical over time, and it yields far more greater consistency and trust and transparency because you're working directly with me. And what we're doing is creating a herd to feed your family with the best possible beef with the lowest possible footprint. Look at the pricing, $12 a pound for a whole cow share. You already beat Whole Foods by $2.80. That to me is worth the savings and worth not having to do weekly trips to go pick up a fluctuating commodity that they don't care about, that they're forcing upon you. So a cow share is limited. I don't have a million different cows. I've only got about 2,000 to pick from. And then you divide that by 16 to 18 to 20 months. I have to make sure that I'm intentional. So the families I do work with have to understand that there is scarcity. I only have so many harvest windows, and I take them at the beginning of each month and fulfill them by the end of the month. So if you'd like to learn more about the cow share process, visit us at motheracres.com or reach out to me directly or stop by our farm stand in Cedar Park, Texas to be able to see what kind of beef we have, try it out, and learn more from me, myself, in person. So learn more about quarter, half, and whole beef shares by visiting our website. Reserve your share by DMing us or placing a deposit at motheracres.com, or just come and visit us in Cedar Park to learn more at our farm stand. From pasture to your family, this beef is something that you can feel good about serving to you and your loved ones. Thank you so much for joining us about if a cow share is right for you. And I hope you learned a little bit more about the process so I can get you eating from farm to table. Thank you, and God bless.